Welcome back to my channel. I'm A.K. Mulford, a full-time author and part-time chaos gremlin, sharing with you behind-the-scenes author life and helpful but unhinged writing advice. And today we are talking about how to prepare to write a lot of words in a short amount of time. For those who don't know, I've published 26 books in the last 4 years, currently working on number 32. And a lot of people have asked me how I managed to write so much and some of my methods, and so I'm doing some writing challenges to help other people do that and to share some of my tips and tricks and different little hacks. So I'm getting ready to go on a little solo writing retreat, and I have the intention of writing 30,000 words in 3 days. Will I achieve that? Hopefully, but maybe not. We shall see. And I wanted to share with you all of the things that I do to get ready to write a lot of words, all of the things that I both physically prep, and also all the things I do headspace-wise to really get in the zone and be ready to write a lot and be deep in flow for a few days ongoing. I am a big fan of fast drafting. I think it works really well for my brain and for my scheduling and for just my energy creative process. And I think that fast drafting actually works for a lot of people. A lot of writing advice out there is really not geared towards people who are neurodivergent, people who are working full-time, people who are parents, the people who have to carry the majority of the domestic labor in their household, the people who are making lots of decisions for lots of different people and themselves every day. So while it is all well and good to give writing advice about going to sit in a special place and having the perfect setup and writing consistently at the same time every day for an hour, that doesn't work for a lot of us. I'm an ADHD author, and I find that consistency is not my friend. I don't find it motivating. I'm the sort of person who will buy a journal and write the first 3 pages in it and then discard it forever and buy a new one 6 months later. And if you're like that, you probably will benefit from this kind of writing too. I find short, bite-sized, intensive challenges really motivating. Now, you don't have to write 30,000 words. That doesn't have to be your goal. The goal for you is to work your way up to a sweet spot where you're slightly nervous that you might not be able to achieve it, but you think there is a real possibility that if you just really buckled down, you could. So for some people that might be 10K, for some people that might be 5K. For me, the number is 30K. And so I've called this writing challenge the 3-day 30K. And it turns out there's other people just like me who really benefit from this kind of writing challenge. And we've created a little Discord group. So if you want to come join us, I will put the link in the description. So you are welcome to come do one of these 3-day 30K writing challenges with us. The first one's happening in May, and we've got another one in August and November. So if you want to do 3 days of intensive writing in a community of other supportive people, feel free to come join. I also have a really cool little workbook that I'm sharing in there if you want to print it out, and I'll show you more of that in a minute. Right, so I am doing 2 of these writing challenges this month, which I know sounds crazy to a lot of people, but I think I can do it. We shall see. I'm going to be vlogging both of them and comparing them because they're 2 very different projects I'm working on. So the first one, I'm going away to a hotel for 3 days to work on the tail end of my fantasy novel called Dreamslayer. And so that one I think is going to take me longer than the second one I'm doing because half of the book is already written and I have extensive notes and plot and things like that. It's going to take me longer to read all my notes for each scene and get into doing the tail end of it. But I will have the benefit of being away from home. I homeschool my 2 kids, so I'm going away for a long weekend. And so I won't have all of the normal distractions of cats running around and laundry to be done and all of those things. So that will be one 3-day 30K for me. I'm kind of doing that as a dry run to test out all of my workbook and stuff I'm making. And then I'm doing a second one with the entire Discord group. And that one I'll be doing at home, and I'll be starting my next Zookeeper rom-com called Hold Your Horses. If you're interested in how I switch genres and working on 2 very different projects simultaneously, let me know and I can make a whole video about how to juggle different genres. One of the reasons why these short little bursts of fast drafting work really well for me is because I can download the whole story into my brain and keep it there for a few days. When I write a story over 6 months, I have to really refresh myself on the world building. I don't remember that character's name. I don't remember some of the arc things that I've set up, some of the emotional journeys that I want characters to go on. Even with extensive notes, it's kind of I have to constantly keep refreshing myself on the story to keep it tonally the same and hit all the beats that I want to hit. So let's say I'm only writing a little bit of the story each day or each week. It's kind of I have to give myself a whole recap every time I start writing again. Also for me, I don't know about you, But each writing session I start, usually the first roughly half hour, is kind of getting into flow for me. The words are a bit clunky. I'm not really there yet. After half an hour, I've kind of found my pacing. I know what I'm doing. Everything starts to flow and the words come easier. So if I'm writing an hour a day, every day, 7 days a week, that's only 3.5 inflow hours a week for me. Whereas if I write for 8 hours in a single day, that's 7.5 hours of inflow writing time. So for me, doing these short intensives really helps me utilize my time as best I can as well. And because I'm a homeschooling parent and have a whole bunch of other chaotic things going on in my life, I really need to be as time efficient as possible. So these writing challenges really help me, and hopefully they will help you too. I've tried doing other writing challenges that other people have put on in the past, but for me, even a week-long challenge is just too long, let alone a month or longer. It doesn't excite me anymore. Whereas 3 days, and I think a lot of people with ADHD can relate to this, is long enough for us to be still excited about a new habit that we tell ourselves we're going to keep doing forever and then abandon after a few days. And it seems like a lot of other people feel that way too. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to gamify and hack our brains to be able to get a lot of words written in 3 days. All right, so what materials do you need? Well, the only thing you really need is either a pen and paper or a computer or a typewriter. It's something to write with. Everything else is just kind of an add-on that might be helpful to you. Here's all of the other things that I will be bringing. I will be bringing lots of notebooks, pens, pencils, colored pencils, sticky notes, note cards, all the stationery goodness, because I find it helps me keep plotting clear, and sometimes I need physical things that I can stick on the wall or little notes to myself. And also I find that coloring in things really is a nice way to kind of decompress my brain after a deep writing dive. And we're fast drafting, right? So we're not doing extensive editing or world building. So I like to keep a notebook full of notes of the things that I'm going to go back and add in during my editing process. I'm going to make a video about my editing process at some point too. I like to write fast and edit slow. That's kind of my preference, is to fast draft to the first bit quickly and then do editing passes to really shape it into the book that I want it to eventually become. So I've got all my stationery goodness. I've got multiple keyboards. I'm bringing my laptop, my FreeWrite, and my foldable keyboard in case I just want to do some quick writing while I'm in a cafe or something like that. And then I'm bringing my handy dandy notebook that I've made. I've made a free little workbook for anybody who wants one. You can download it in the Discord group. I'm going to be posting it in about 10 days before the first May challenge. And it has all of these cool little things. A whole prep guide, and I've got a little packing checklist, and I also have a whole bunch of cool little gamified things to color in, little quest maps and word tracker challenges, and also little gamified strategies to get back in flow, and then that will re-motivate you to write. So I will be bringing my dice as well, bringing my D20s so that I can gamify each writing sprint. I'm bringing a power bank and an extension cord, and also a stress ball hand massager. These digits are the things that are making the words happen, so we've got to take care of our hands. I'm bringing multiple different kinds of headphones. I think it's really important, if you're going to be doing an intense amount of words, to prioritize self-care and to be putting a lot back into your creative well so that you don't burn out at the end of it. So I think this is the thing that a lot of people get wrong, is that they think that this sort of challenge is just do it, just push through, just crawl across the finish line. No, don't do that. If anything, this should be the most joyful, delightful time. Gifting yourself little things and taking time to stretch and do all the stuff that you never do. Make yourself really luxurious cups of hot cocoa and really relish in the self-care of it all. Prioritize sleep and food and water and hydration. All of those things, I think, are the things that make it so that on the day after the third day, you're pleasantly tired and proud and, rightfully a little bit exhausted, but you're not hating your manuscript or never wanting to pick up your keyboard again. I think that is very important. So doing lots of little acts of self-care, and I have a whole list of ideas and even a dopamine menu for people who just don't want to have to think about what they should do to treat themselves during this. And again, you don't need all of these notebooks. If you love a good piece of stationery, then this can be really fun for you. But honestly, just like having a group of people you know are writing a lot of words at the same time as you can be really motivating and kind of hack your dopamine seeking brain. Sometimes all you need is a community to uplift you. Or if you're more of a solo introvert, just like even knowing that it's happening, even if you're not dipping in and engaging with people, can be really helpful. I'm also bringing lots of like easy to grab snacks, gum, mints, things that I can be like chewing on while I'm thinking. It just helps my ADHD brain to have two things going on at once. So whether I'm fidgeting as I'm writing or chewing on something, for me, that really helps me stay in flow and keep my brain going. I also have a word tracker app called Forest that I really love. I like to do Pomodoros with this, and you basically like press start and you plant either a bush or a tree or something each time. And it's just really fun to watch it grow, and it kind of gamifies the word sprints in a really fun way. And then the last thing that I'm gathering my materials for are little rewards. They don't need to be big things. They could just be little dollar store things. Some of mine are just little fidgets. I also have some like face masks and a new nail polish and like some fuzzy socks, you know, little things that I'm going to unlock my rewards as I get more writing done. It just kind of makes it a fun little treat for myself and kind of gamifies getting there. You know, when you don't feel like getting to that last 500 words of the day, it's kind of nice knowing that you've got this like cool little gift at the end. Or better yet, if you have a buddy who can gather them for you, that would be really fun. If you've got somebody in your life who could like wrap up little gifts in tissue paper or something and unlock them at different word counts, that would be really fun. All right, so those are the physical things I'm preparing, but the physical things are the easy bit. It's the mental preparation that's the hard part. So here are the things I'm doing to get my head in the game before I start writing a whole bunch of words. The biggest thing is getting rid of as many decisions for myself as possible. Decision fatigue is so real and it takes up too much of our mental headspace. So I'm planning what I'm eating, what I'm wearing, clearing my inbox, getting all of those little to-dos done. I'm trying to get everything I can possibly done ahead of time and make as few decisions as possible so that all of my decision energy can go into creating this story. I'm writing down why I'm doing this. I think that's hugely helpful too, especially when you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why have I agreed to do this? Having a why, like, this story deserves to be created. I know this is the most effective use of my time. I want to write the best story I possibly can. This is the time I have to make it happen. All of these things I think are hugely helpful to kind of reflect back on. And while you're at it, take a break for a few days before you start this writing challenge. You don't want to be like doing your day-to-day in the thick of it writing and then a big marathon session. I like to take a few days off ahead of time or even a week off ahead of time so that I'm like really itching to write by the time it comes round again. Another thing is to know your motivation style. Like I have some friends who like really need somebody to kind of crack the whip and be like, get back to writing, head down, do your work, like things like that. They're motivated by that kind of tough love pushing. And then I have other friends who need all the cheerleading, like you're doing a great job, keep going. If you don't know which kind of motivation you need, you can't ask for it. So have a think about that and like either come join the Discord group or grab some writing buddies who can like help motivate you the way that you need to keep going. And with that being said, also prepare your people. Like let everybody in your life know who needs to know that you're going to be away for a few days or deep in focus for a few days. You know, put an out of office email on if you need to. If you have apps that will block your socials for a few days, that can be super helpful because honestly, you're only away from doom scrolling for like 3 days. You can commit to 72 hours without being like inundated with all of the negativity that's like going on social media and in the world. And then you can dip back in and catch up on all of the chaos you want after the challenge. I don't know about you, if you're an empathetic person and you see one piece of bad news, it can throw you off for the whole day. Protect that writing time. You have the rest of the year to be really in the middle of it, but give yourself 3 days to just focus on the story that you're so determined to write and tell, okay? I've got a million more tips and tricks in this binder, but there's no way I could go through all of them in one video, but those are some of the big ones. I am really looking forward to this. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's, I think, over 150 people in the Discord group as of right now, and I think it's going to be a really wonderful event and something that we're going to be doing quarterly. So if you'd like to come join us, feel free to come hop in the Discord group and let's get some writing done together.